To slow down the Gianna Neepkins for Arizona, as Adia Barnes talked with us about. Mylene Roth, the freshman guard, is going to have that task quite a bit. Tip is up, and it goes to Utah in the home pink uniforms. Pink game, and everybody decked out in pink tonight. There's Neepkins without the ball, the movement, slashing good.
She is reading screens and reading the defense as well as anybody in the country. Over 20 points per game in Big 12 play, and as we mentioned, over 5 made threes per game over the last 3.
Quick curl up top, that's Jada Williams, averaging 12 points per game, but missing the mark there. Yeah, Neepkins led the way. These teams met up, as we said, on New Year's Eve. 18 points for her in Tucson, and a big win for the Utes on the road.
And great to see Kennedy McQueen back on the floor. Had 11 minutes at BYU, but she's coming off a high ankle sprain, missed 5 games for Utah.
And the turnover, the takeaway. Cats out running, and Vieira almost took it right back. As Paulina Paris lost it for a moment, it'll stay with Arizona. Yeah, this has been a little adversity last year. Big adversity for Utah, losing Gianna Neepkins for the entire season the rest of the way. But losing Kennedy McQueen, a big piece to what they do and a calming presence. They're glad to have her back.
Yeah, she's a Utah legend in her 5th year, all with Utah, stayed a Utah kid, and her mom played here for Utah, so a legacy kid.
A nice idea by Cunningham going to her left, but they call the travel instead. That's a thing, an area of her game she's been working on, going left and right and finishing.
For Arizona, they only scored 9 points in the first quarter against Utah at home in Tucson, a very difficult place for opponents to play. They only had 19 points at halftime. They want a better start.
Yep. Gotta have some scoring. Good topside D. That is Isis Bay, one of the 2 captains for the Wildcats. A redshirt senior, really brings the most experience of anybody out there. Both trying to stay with Neepkins. As the shot clock is down to 5. Vieira. Oh, eyes in the back of her head. Good communication. Torrey can't finish, though. Vieira, a capable scorer at the point, but she'd much rather dish it off if she gets the opportunity.
Yeah, she's averaging over 5 assists per game. Only been in double figures once this season. She is a pass-first point guard.
1-on-1 and curls around. The finish good. Bay with the bucket. She's really been a mentor to Brea Cunningham. We talked about coming in as a freshman last year. Top recruit class in the nation, though, for Adia Barnes. And those sophomores now, the experience they gained last year, really paying off, making their way to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. Neepkins trying to find an opening. Help D coming over. Torrey can shoot the 3. Thought about it and now squares it up. And maybe hesitated just a little too long there.
Yeah, when you're a shooter and you have a look and you hesitate, it feels like the percentages go way down. Good look, she had it, but waited a tick.
There's Adia Barnes in her 9th season as the head coach of her alma mater. How about making her way to the NCAA tournament the last 4 years in a row? And she's had a lot of roster changes and moves over those 4 years, but she's been able to get it together and get them there.
She has done the heavy lifting, taking over an Arizona program that was struggling, and special source of pride, being an alum of Arizona and a fantastic player in Wildcat history. Her all-time leading scorer, so what a legend she is for the Wildcats.
Beautiful look there as McQueen tried to help, and Cunningham, the strength, that's an area she's improved upon, really worked in the offseason, and she's going to go to the line.
Good hands in traffic. Right here, the bounce pass, lot of pink shirts in the area, but Cunningham catching it and feeling that contact, not shying away from it. Arizona only got to the free throw line 4 times in that loss to Utah on New Year's Eve. 1 for 4. They've got to get in, get fouled, and put Utah's defense on their heels.
Just a 52% free thrower is Cunningham, and misses them both. The long rebound batted around, and they'll say it stays with Arizona. I think Bay knocked it off of the Utes at the last minute. There's the head coach, Gavin Peterson, first season with a 12-4 record. He had been associate head coach, as you mentioned, for Lynn Roberts in his 10th season this year. And now gets to stand and have conversations with the officials instead of sitting and trying to do so.
Yeah, he was saying when we talked to him today at shoot around, I like that a lot better. They'll listen to me now. They wouldn't listen to me when I was the assistant coach.
Yeah, they did not want to hear from him sitting courtside. Cunningham just a bit off at the other end, got pushed out by the D. And Rolfe just doing everything she can to stay with Neepkins. Neepkins way behind the arc, swish. She's got range. That's a tough one for Mylene Rolfe.
16 made threes over the last 3 games. It's an incredible run that Neepkins is on. And again, rejects the screen, just goes one-on-one and pulls it. Look at this right here. 2 players in her area. She just pauses. Jenna Johnson doesn't set the screen. She goes back into the lane, and Neepkins says, I don't need any help. I'll just take this myself from deep.
Cunningham's gonna take a seat. They call the foul on her, so the turnover will give it to the Utes, and now full court pressure by the Wildcats. Checking into the game, it's Montea Dew, number 12 in navy blue.
Well, for Arizona, their major strength is how aggressive their pressure is, just like that. Over 10 steals per game, and that is how that they can disrupt and make this a competitive game here at the altitude in Salt Lake City.
It's been a problem for Utah. The last 6 games, the first quarter, they've been plagued with high turnovers and trying to get some scoring out of it. Good hustle. That's Paris. Second chance, just short. Wildcats aggressive on the offensive boards. And a little too aggressive, they will say, by Dew.
Well, a good start for Arizona. They've tracked down a couple of offensive rebounds. They lead on the glass 4-2. They were out-rebounded 40-22 in that first matchup. And you just are not going to win very many games when you get doubled up on the glass. And they are a physical team. They like to fly around. And so that's an area of emphasis for Arizona against a physical Utah team.
Yeah, Coach Barnes said it was definitely the worst game that they had played overall. And for Utah, they took advantage of it on the road.
And Arizona's coming off a fabulous win. They knocked off 16th ranked West Virginia, played lights out. They've won 3 in a row, and they are trending upwards for a very young roster, as you mentioned.
Trying to trap and help. Reese Ross is checked in. Her shot no good. Long rebound. That's Jenna Johnson, another chance. Maddie Wilkie also in for the Utes. She had gotten the starts without Kennedy McQueen. Shot clock down to 5. Vieta! No. Just not giving up on the play and still not giving up. And finally, the Wildcats come down with it. Williams, hesitation. Help D right there, but Bay on the trail, lays it up good. Good patience by Jada Williams. She's made a couple of really good decisions reading the defense.
Yeah, she's got good court vision. When a double team comes, if there is a lane, a little window for her post player, she can find it.
The drive on the left side, though. Neepkins so quick with the ball.
So often three-point shooters don't use that back door. They want to float deep. She is so good from 3, but she is constantly moving without the basketball, with or without screens. That time just a straight back door for a wide open 2.
Well, that's the thing about Arizona's defense. It is very aggressive. They're going to be up on you, and you can take advantage sometimes with the back door. She read it there. Again, Bay on the interior, gets the touch, gets it to go.
Bay, the veteran of this squad, feels like she's been around forever, and she is a native of Murray, Utah. So coming back to her home state. Yeah. She started her career UNLV, Salt Lake City, West Virginia, and now with Arizona. Got a good one here in Salt Lake.
Yep.
And just raising funds to find treatment and research.
Absolutely, so important, and fun to see everybody get into the action. It's back underway, and that long shot from Neepkins, no good. That's her first miss. She was perfect, 3 for 3 prior, and nobody else had hit anything for Utah.
Well, so far it's been Neepkins versus Isis Bay. It's 7 points for Neepkins, 6 for Bay.
Yep.
That's it.
Both teams needing to get others involved. Cunningham gets it sent right back off the side of the backboard and can't get the second one to go.
Yeah, she rushed that second one. She had more time.
Queen on the drive and an and one. A late foul and the crowd liking it. Transition defense, a big focus for Arizona coming into this one. They didn't get back this time.
Well, Cunningham too, this is one that's not a good foul. She's hustling back, and already in the air was Kennedy McQueen, and so Cunningham is going to pick up that second foul, a crucial one here in the first quarter. Foul trouble, a foul plus a quarter plus a foul. So you have 2 fouls in the first quarter. That's a trouble spot. So we'll see when Adia Barnes will put her sophomore center back into the game, but those are just learning plays. When she's trying to make a play for her team, McQueen is in the air, Cunningham looking for a block. She averages almost 2 per game, but instead she's going to be off the floor for quite some time.
You got that right, with 3:18 remaining in just this first quarter, and we talked about that game back on New Year's Eve in Tucson. She got into foul trouble. She's such an important piece, and it kind of takes the confidence at times. This team is a different team, though, than they were then. They've really come on with their offense and with their defense.
Yeah, I mean, Cunningham coming off a huge game, 18 points, 9 boards in that win against top 20 West Virginia.
Paris tried to knock it off of Utah as the pass was way off and into the corner, and instead she gives it up. Give and go. Ross on the drive, and she's going to go to the free throw line. Utah's been keeping the pace up, and they've been on the attack on the interior. You know what they can do behind the arc, but they've been looking for opportunities inside.
Well, they just play very smart, and they read the defense. And Adia Barnes talked about one of the keys against this Utah offense, and she knows it well. These are 2 former Pac-12 teams who have faced each other many times throughout the years, and Adia Barnes now in her 9th year, which is hard to believe, at Arizona.
Sure is.
But she's had a lot of success against Utah with her pressure defense. And what she said is that in the half court, you've got to find a way to slow them down, and that is with pressure. So they can't just go 1, 2, 3, reverse the ball, quick passing. She has to make them stop, read, put the ball on the floor, and to induce those turnovers that Arizona needs.
Yep, gonna need a lot from their defense to do that. Missed free throws by Ross, an opportunity for Arizona. Switch, Ross on Roth, trying to get closer. Help D, Toure not only blocks it, but starts the break. What an addition she's been for this team. Little baby hook won't go though. Rush that shot just a little bit. Good defense by Bay. Whistle away from the basketball underneath. Watch this block, I'm impressed. She didn't just swat it out of play.
Now, reading this perfectly, waiting to get into the air, and then Toure says, nope, get it out of here. It was so well done, and it was a nice job of forcing her into the help defense by Reese Ross.
The grad student transfer from Rhode Island this past season, from France originally. And her game has continued to just get better and better. She's had double figures now 14 times on the year.
And coming off a big game, 21 points at BYU in that rivalry series here in the state of Utah.
And an offensive foul call as Rolfe could not stop the momentum. Her first, it'll give it to the Utes.
So right here, getting over, setting your feet. It's a modified pack line defense for Utah. They want to keep you on the perimeter and play good position.
Wow, from behind, Williams with the quick hands. And Vieta, 2 of the quickest guards in the conference. And Vieta got it taken away. Good movement without the ball. Make the extra pass. The Wildcats get it. They average 6 threes a game, and they get one there.
You said it, Krista, good ball movement. That ball was a hot potato swinging around. Utah's defense never able to catch up.
And back at you at the other end.
Yeah, Wilkie slashing into the hoop, getting it off glass, a quick answer. It's been a low-scoring first quarter, things opening up just a bit on the last 2 possessions.
And I think that favors Arizona. There's a little fader by Williams good. They average about 69 points a game compared to 77 for Utah, and they hold their opponents down, Arizona does, to 61 a game. This quarter is winding down. It's been a quick one. Neekins into Toure, squares it up. of the round. She gets it back and banks it up good. Sticking with it.
It's a good stick for her because she'd missed a few in a row, and you could see a little frustration. Missed off the good playmaking from Neepkins, but grabs that rebound and goes up again.
Bay trying to get closer. Torrey right there, and again the block, but instead gives it to Williams, who gets fouled and will go to the line.
And that's called making something out of nothing. Williams hanging around the anticipation and then takes it right to the cup to earn 2 foul shots. So Arizona was down 16-9 in Tucson. This is a great first quarter for them. It is their pace, it is their style. They had the opening few minutes where Gianna Neepkins looked like she was gonna go off, but since then they've settled down. She had 7 early points. She is still at 7 for Utah.
Williams gets the free throws, and you're right, taking advantage. Defense creating offense. And Arizona right in this one, all tied up. Chance for the Utes to regain the lead before this quarter ends. Neepkins to the floor, needs some help. Clock down to 5. High hedge from Bay, good help D. And an excellent defensive sequence. They'll call the double dribble, and that's gonna do it. Arizona.
This was your baby for 10 years that you built, and you took over a program that was struggling and turned it into one of the best in the nation. Getting to that Sweet 16, the Pac-12 championship. Now you've had a little time to reflect. What do you think about the tenure here at Utah?
You know, I was lucky to be the captain of the ship, but I was very fortunate to be surrounded by just great players and players that wanted to be in Salt Lake City and be a part of our program, and they believed in our vision and bought in, and that's what happens, right? With any program at any level, you get good people to buy in, and you can do anything.
Whistle and a foul going to go against the Utes, and McQueen. Kennedy McQueen missing games. Talk about her game and just what she means. I mean, no, she's not always the leading scorer, but I feel like she's such a calming force, and when they don't have her for several games, it's a difference maker.
Yeah, I'm just glad to see her back out there. I watched that Iowa State game on TV, and when she went down, she is as tough as they come. Yeah. And the way she was screaming, I thought, oh no. Yeah. But only Kennedy can come back after how bad of a sprain that was and the time she did. Yeah, she means so much to this program. This is her 5th year. Just an incredible competitor. That's what I would say this group is, just competitive.
Well, she's a Utah legend, too.
Yeah.
From the state of Utah. Her mom played here, legacy kid.
Yeah, and from, a tiny little town, and, when I home visited her, we went on ATVs in the mountains.
You survived.
I survived, and she committed, so it all worked out.
It was probably a test. She was testing to see if you knew what you were doing or not.
No doubt.
As Skylar Jones gets the layup, and it's the first lead for Arizona in this one. Arizona, first year in the Big 12. Utah, first year in the Big 12. But you know this Arizona program. You know Adia Barnes. What has Gavin Peterson kind of had to figure out here in this one, or try to get his team to do against a team like this?
Well, these are always competitive games, and a lot of respect for Arizona. I know, Utah has, Gavin has, the whole staff and players. These games are always competitive and close. And so, it's always a dogfight with them. 2 different styles. Arizona's going to pressure you and trap and do some things that make you have to kind of adjust offensively. They've got to guard the movement and all of that. But right now, I think turnovers are the game. Utah's turning it over a little bit. We need to do that. We need to take care of the ball better.
You talk about a coaching tree, and obviously Gavin Peterson was not only with you all 10 years, but also 2 years at Pacific. As we take a look at the contact inside, and a little bit of a hold there.
Was it?
Really?
I can say that.
First on Crisp, says she's checked into the game. Samantha Crisp.
That's the makeup.
An offensive foul on the high screen is going to turn it around, go the other direction.
But for Gavin Peterson, who you left this program to him, he took over, and he's been with you for 12 years, and he has earned everything he's ever got. What can you tell the fans out there about Gavin as a person?
Gavin's amazing, and I'm so proud of him, and he's handled this. This is tough. He's been ready to be a head coach. He's had opportunities before. He chose to stay, and I think that's a good lesson for assistants too. You know, you earn a reputation and you get credibility, and people in the administration here and on campus love him. And he got this opportunity, and he didn't get the interim tag. I mean, he's the coach.
Yeah.
This is his program. But just an incredible guy, and he's like a brother to me. I'm so proud of him. He has handled this. You know, me leaving November 19th is not ideal for him. But the way they've played and the record they have now, that's a credit to him and these players that, you know, that the program wasn't me. It was bigger than me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it means something to these players and also the players that will be coming in as well, as they call it, travel, 6th term on the Utes. And he said he had to remember that he could stand up now as a head coach, which that took a little bit of time.
Oh, he's got it now, though. Now he's pacing, storming.
He's
settled in just nice.
Okay, so you're going to be a coach in the WNBA now. It's got a few differences to it than it has been to be a college coach. What are you liking about it? What are you looking forward to the most?
You know, I did it. It just felt right. I wasn't looking to leave, but you know, the Sparks is it's a good time to be in the W. It's a great time to be in LA Spark with the investment and the ownership group in terms of wanting to get back to championships. But I'm looking forward. You know, basketball's basketball. I'm looking forward to getting out and coaching and kind of seeing that next level of basketball and being able to be a part of it.
And rumors say that a player you know well, Kelsey Plum, might be down in LA.
There are those rumors, Elise. There are. Now, free agency is official tomorrow in terms of when you can sign, and then it'll become official, but excited about the free agency process.
Tournament, or trying to eke out a win, or we need a quad 1 win.
Yeah.
You know, for Arizona here in Salt Lake City, they would love to get a win on the road against Utah. That's 26 in the net rankings. Yep. They are 58.
Yeah, that would elevate them, and that's a good timeout for Adia Barnes and the Wildcats as Jada Williams, a calming shot. They were 1 for 4 prior to that make this quarter. Neepkins with the fake, loses the D, and muscles it up good.
Yeah, nice job exploding over the top of the shot blocker to get that bucket in the lane.
9 points for Neepkins. She leads all scorers. That one won't drop for the Wildcats. And it's Samantha Crisp with the rebound.
Well, Arizona's defense has done one thing extremely well, and that is push Utah off the three-point line. Only 1 made 3 so far in this game for the Utes. They average a tick under 10 made threes per game. They're top 10 in the nation.
Yeah, think about that. A team that knows what they can do out there, but they're being forced to think about and read what the defense is giving them. And Arizona's definitely said, you better take it inside. And the defense helped you that time, forcing the turnover.
Arizona is used to flying around. It is the system for Adia Barnes. Play with pace defensively. Get out and pressure. Make teams uncomfortable. Fly through lanes. Get in the gaps. And so far in this game, Utah just 21 points on the board. They average 77, well below their average. 7
turns for Utah. They average 15 a game, but Arizona forces 19 per game to their opponents. Cunningham, one of their leading scorers, had 2 fouls in the first quarter. She's been sitting and watching, so Do and others, like that player there, Bay, picking up the slack.
What a start for Isis Bay, the 6'3" redshirt senior.
She has 9 points.
Her final year of collegiate eligibility.
A couple of threes for Arizona, averaging about 6 per game, helping them out. Crisp and an and one. She'll go to the line.
Excellent playmaking, reading the defense. The weak side could not get over the top. Moving the ball, Bay left open, closeout. Couldn't get there in time. And then on the other end, good job of moving the basketball, hitting the open player, Samantha Crisp, 6'2" junior. And again, points in the paint for Utah. Just nothing much from behind the arc yet.
Can't get the three-point play for Crisp, though, 75% free thrower. But yeah, it was all about the three in Tucson for Utah, and now they're taking advantage on the interior. Lauren Swan's checked in.
And that's great to see. She was in concussion protocol, missed the big win over West Virginia.
Yeah, is there on the interior again. Another bucket for the Wildcats. They're hanging right in this, down by just 1. Swan had a big game on December 31st against Utah, but it just wasn't enough. Career high for her, 22 points on that one. That was due with the swat. How about that wingspan?
Oh, that was a big-time block. But this is beautiful. Fadeaway jumper. The mid-range game is a strength for Williams.
6 points for the sophomore captain. She's had 10 games in a row now where she scored in double figures, and they could use her getting there in this one.
And another turnover.
Offensive foul call on Wilkie.
So 8 turnovers for Utah, just 5 for Arizona. This feels like Utah has not been able to find that rhythm where they're just swinging the ball back and forth and looking for open shooters.
And you got to give some credit to the Wildcats D. They've really hounded them and had some pressure. They've had help defense. Shot clock winding down. Williams in the paint around and won't drop. And the rebound down. That is Brooke Walker, one of 3 freshmen for Utah who's checked in. Skip all the way across. Wilkie connects. Defense wasn't far behind, but Wilkie not afraid to pull it.
Well, that's that second made 3 off the pass from Niepken. She's way wide on the left side, swings it on the skip all the way to the right corner, and that's a tough pass to defend.
It certainly is. And you're not expecting Wilkie to take the shot right after either. Crowd starting to make some noise here in the Huntsman. Williams steps it back too much. Good box out by Crisp. And now the Utes have numbers. They'll push. Niepken spots it up, hits it. Defense to offense for Utah.
Back-to-back threes. That is Utah just exploding out of the gate, and another strip for Utah.
Jones runs into the D, loses it as Niepken goes up and one. Utah hitting 8 of their last 9.
Look at this pass. Off the dribble, on the money, and it is pure from Wilkie. And then another pass, cross court. Niepken's feet set. She could have gone in for a layup. She said, no, I want 3. And then right here, just putting her head down, drawing the contact. Duke could not get there and square up in time, and it's a 3-point opportunity the other way for Gianna Niepkens, the redshirt junior, 5'11" out of Duluth, Minnesota, and had only 8 games played last year before that injury to her ankle and missed the rest of the season. It was heartbreaking for Utah. Alyssa Peely, one of the greats in the collegiate game last year. They were poised. They thought Final Four. But without Niepkens, that was a big loss for the Utes.
Yeah, it took so much away from this team. She's got 15 first-half points now, and it's the largest lead of the ballgame on a 9-0 run for Utah. Roth maybe partially blocked. I think Roth's got a piece of that, and it'll stay with Arizona 5 on the shot clock.
Well, Charles Barkley mentions the spurtability factor of offense, and Utah has that spurtability. That was just blink your eyes, and it's a 9-0 run over just a minute of action.
Both teams have been going to the bench. Cunningham back in with the 2 fouls. She gets smothered. The clock winding down, and Swan at the last minute just barely got the shot off.
Kennedy McQueen also on the floor again for Utah with her 2 personals.
McQueen gives it back. Ross. And she gets clocked. 4th team foul on Arizona.
Look at this pocket pass from McQueen. And the angle that she was able to get it to Reese Ross. It was a bucket or she's going to get fouled. She took the contact. She'll head to the free throw line. The 6'2 senior, or excuse me, the 6'1 sophomore from Rapid City, South Dakota.
She's such a scrappy player. You just love the effort that she gives at both ends of the floor for this Utah team.
Well, she said, I'm gritty. That's what I am. I may not be the most skilled, but I'm going to give my all on every play, and I am tenacious. And you love those kind of players when you're a teammate and when you're a coach.
Arizona needs a bucket. High screen for Swan, and just short on that one. Utah hitting 8 for 10 this quarter alone. It's been a big second quarter with just under 2 minutes left. Torre fakes one way, goes the other, and can't get the shot to go, though, as Cunningham had fallen to the floor. Cunningham faces up, help D, dropping down. She needs some help. Here's Bay. She's been good, and she gets fouled and will go to the line. Isis Bay has really been sharp in this first half.
Yeah, she's been the most dominant player for the Wildcats. 9 points, 4 of 6 from the floor. This time going right at the defense of Ross, getting into the arms that were not straight up. And you're going to go to the free throw line more often than not when you get your hands through those arms of the defender when they're not vertical.
Second personal on Ross. Jenna Johnson comes back on. Trying to stop this run, and does. It was an 11-0 run this quarter for Utah.
Well, it's got to be fun here for Isis Bay, who is from Murray High School, right here in the state of Utah. Come home for the final time. Played a minute at Salt Lake City Community College, but also UNLV, West Virginia for a couple of years. Now this is her second year at Arizona. She is well traveled as Isis Bay, and it's fun for her to come home and play in front of those hometown fans.
Yeah, she has definitely moved around with her college career, but anytime you get to come back home, as Utah trying to break the pressure, nice job by the Wildcats to get back, and now they force another turn. Their defense is not letting up, and that's an area, their offense has much improved since these teams met up way back in the end of December. But Adia Barnes says, you know, it's our offense now that's helping the defense be more organized.
Well, they've been over 70 points 3 games in a row. One of those, as we mentioned, against 6th ranked West Virginia that played well, also against Cincinnati. So they're coming. It's a young roster that is building, and it starts with their defense, though. When they're able to force tough shots and get and run, or turnovers, especially live ball turnovers, and get out and run, this Arizona team is very dangerous.
They certainly are. Torre takes it up, and they'll say wave it off as the defense got there. A nice job helping over from Williams.
Another turnover forced. And a couple of years ago, that would have been a block. Feet weren't outside the restricted area. The rule changed. And so you do not have to be outside of that restricted area in the women's game. You have to be there first. That one was close because Torre was also, keep her there. You know, it's when she takes off into the air.
Dew loses it. Vieta right there. We're under a minute left in this first half. 10-point Utah lead and a chance to extend it before the break. These teams met up just one time last year. And it was in Arizona. This year, though, they face each other twice. Shot clock down the floor. Neepkins, hesitation, gives it up. And instead, and the 3 goes, but they'll wave it off. The offensive foul is going to go against Neepkins. Tough break for the Utes. Big D for Arizona.
Arizona, give them credit. They are flying around and sacrificing their bodies. They're in weak side position and getting to the spot and taking away opportunities. So they gave up the flurry, the 9-0 run, the 2 threes made from deep, and then the 3-point play, but they've stabilized. And the one thing they've done really well is rotate on the weak side.
And at least they have been on a scoring drought. They have not been able to score. They've missed their last 6, but the defense has kept them in. I mean, only being down 10 and not being able to score for that amount of time, you've got to be pretty positive going in at break. Clock at 3, got to take it. Oh, Williams not recognizing, and that will do it. At one point, Arizona.
Streak. And so Adia Barnes would love to see more players involved. Isis Bay coming in. She's already in double figures with 11 points, but I'd love to see Williams start cooking. 8 points in the first half, and then, of course, as you mentioned, those players coming off the bench, their depth.
Yep, and Brea Cunningham, one of their leading scorers, picked up those quick personals in the first quarter, saw limited minutes in the first half, and right there, Jenna Johnson saying, I know you can't afford another foul, so I'm going to take it at you. Foul underneath. It'll go against Arizona. And it's going to go against Rolfe. Brea Cunningham averaging 12 points per game, did not score in the first half. So that's a player, you got to have the contribution. And that's something that Adia Barnes said, look, we have to score here against this Utah team. See if they can find more production this second half. Johnson up top, no good. Cunningham bets one way, goes the other, and just a little bit short on the bank shot. She's got the moves, though. She's worked on the left and right banks. She's working on her drive more as a post player, but her game's really seen great growth.
Yeah, Adia Barnes has talked about that. She's smarter, more patient, really been working on taking the ball off the floor from the high post area.
Arizona forcing turnovers in the first half, got some pretty good point production off of it, as Rolfe might have gotten a little piece of that shot from Neepkins. Rebound down to Williams, who will push. And they get some offense from it. Paris, just short. Tipped out of play, it's gonna go the other way. Where can they get some offense? They're trying to get Cunningham going, and so important. Bay's been good, she needs somebody to go with her.
Well, Paulina Paris, just 3 points in the first half. She had 16 points and 5 steals in the last game in that win against West Virginia. So she played very well. Going to try to find that magic again.
Inside, Neepkins with the bucket.
Well, that's where she just is so tough. Because when you push up on Neepkins, she can get that first step and get by you.
Big 12 player of the week, averaging 31 points, 9 boards, 5 assists in the last 2 games, getting the honor, as that one won't go for the Wildcats. And Utah continues to try to push the tempo, and it pays off. Big 3 ball for Neepkins.
Just so simple. Hey, Gianna, go run, sit at the 3-point line, get those feet set. I mean, she is absolutely nails 47% from deep with high volume.
Yeah.
Now 65 made threes this season and shooting nearly 50%. It is remarkable how effective and efficient she is from deep.
She's 5th all time in Utah history in 3-point shooting. Shot clock winding down. Paris has to take it, no good. And Torre with the rebound. But the efficiency for Neepkins behind the arc, so impressive.
Well, and she just creates space for everybody else. You have to know where she is.
Torre, high archer, get it. Another 3 for the Utes. Torre's first 3.
She's hit 15 this season, a career high coming over from Rhode Island. And that was a big hit.
But you're right. When you start hitting shots like Neepkins has, that's going to open things up for others. See if Arizona has an answer. They had to take the timeout. They got to find some more scoring production. Much more balanced attack from Utah.
Arizona's done some nice things. They've forced 11 Utah turnovers, but the points off turnovers just not there. Just 10 points off turnovers for the Wildcats.
Shot clock to 1. Williams recognizes nothing but net way outside, and a big bucket as the clock was winding down. And a delay of game call on the Wildcats. Getting excited after that make. And now full court pressure.
And if you make shots, then you can set up that full court pressure.
Yep. Neepkins, left side, just short. Good box out by the Wildcats. They'll push.
That is that cat and mouse game. Arizona full court pressure. If Utah can beat it, Neepkins could have a wide open 3.
Yep.
That time had a great look at it, just did not drop.
The chance you take, right? We've seen Utah take advantage earlier, didn't get it that time. Cunningham up top. Williams trying to get loose and does finally. Enough room to get the shot to go. And almost a steal by Jones.
Yeah, 5 straight points for Jada Williams. She is a slasher, very aggressive, just a sophomore. And a captain for Adia Barnes as a sophomore. That's pretty impressive stuff.
Coach Barnes talking about this young team and still, you know, really developing the culture, and great hustle by Jones to get back and get the steal.
Well, that time ready for who is the target. It's going to be Neepkins. Even cross court from McQueen, Arizona was ready.
Coach Barnes saying they've been stagnant at times, continuing needing to move the ball. They struggled against Utah with that part of their game before. Oh, beautiful look inside. Skylar Jones gets the assist.
And she's a southpaw, that time going to her strong hand and then just flipping it over to Cunningham, who has been quiet with that foul trouble. Had just 2 points in the first meeting and just 2 points so far in this one.
Yeah, that's her first points of the game, but it's a 7-0 run for Arizona. McQueen, she's been kind of quiet offensively. Long rebound, and Neepkins there for another chance. Try the left side, just short. Opportunity for Arizona. Quick crossover from Jada Williams. McDonald's All-American, and now she feeds it inside. 9-0 run for the Wildcats. This pressure causing some problems. Utah got to get it across, and they do. Neepkin skips it all the way across. McQueen can't make him pay.
Well, that's the shot that you're going to give up, and Utah's had 2 really good looks that have not dropped, and that's live by the 3 and die by the 3.
Cunningham gets it partially blocked by Torrey, and then Johnson, a jump ball, the trap, not giving up on it.
You gotta love the fire from Jada Williams on the road, trying to build a comeback here against a team that got you in the first matchup. And this will turn you over, and then you start to get anxious, you get a little stressed. That jumper nearly going for Williams.
And almost extended the lead there. Utah started 8-0 this third quarter, and then a 9-0 run gives Arizona a 9-8 lead this quarter as that defensive pressure continues to be applied, and almost another takeaway there. Ross, help D, and there it is. Williams with the steal. A team that averages about 11 steals per game. Again, they are second in the Big 12 in that category, and now about 14 of them.
Yeah, they've got
the turnovers, rather, excuse me.
Yeah, 8 steals. And what steals do is the defense is not set. It's a live ball turnover, and you can get out and get easy, high percentage looks, so that defense directly affecting your offense as Arizona's gone on this run.
An offensive foul call is going to send it the other direction. It's going to go against Torrey. Her third personal, first team foul. And Utah on a drought, 4 minutes without a score. Skylar Jones is going to come back in. She's been a nice spark off the bench, sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois.
And Skylar Jones has really turned it up. She started the first 16 games in a row for Adia Barnes. Came off the bench in the last 2 and had 16 points in each game. And was a major difference maker in those 2 wins.
Yeah, big plus. A team that their last 3 games, they've been averaging 27 points off the bench.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, wow. And this time her momentum wouldn't stop. She knocks Wilkie to the floor, and that'll be her third personal.
That was a collision, both players. No flopping on that one.
No.
That was real. And Skylar Jones, I think, got a tough call on that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. She'll take a seat. Paulina Paris back in, and the full court pressure continues for the Wildcats. Jenna Johnson says, I can bring it up. Versatility for this Utah team.
It's such a huge thing when you can have your front court players handle the basketball against pressure.
Sure is. Skip out, Wilkie, high archer, off the iron, Crisp. Tries to keep it alive, instead it'll go the other way. Sam Crisp, talk about hustle players. That's what she does. She comes in, crashes the O boards. Aggressive defender. Junior out of Castle Pines, Colorado. 2.5 left in the third quarter. Arizona on a 9-0 run. Almost a steal. Wilkie took the chance. Williams all around and won't drop. And then Bay, what a decision to drop it down to Do.
And Do says, thanks. It's the easiest bucket I'm going to get. Just standing here, rewarded for it.
You know it. Right place, right time. 2:05 remaining. Pressure continues. Isis Bay is such a smart player, though. She knew exactly where Do was.
Yeah, just tipped it from behind ever so slightly, right to her teammate.
First points of the game for Do. 11-0 Wildcats run. Leapkin's trying to stop it. She'll go to the line to do it.
Yeah, not only is it an 11-0 run, but Utah has gone almost 5 minutes without scoring. Leapkin's looking for the three-point opportunity, fouled in the act, right on the wrist from Williams, and you can see her pleading, trying to get that ball to roll in the hoop as Arizona has trimmed this lead down to 7. It was one time an 18-point Utah lead and thought it was going to be easy street, but
just this quarter, and that was the 7-18 mark. That's the last time Utah had scored. They needed those free throws right there.
Well, and those free throws are so big. I'm a huge fan of the 50, 40, 90.
Yeah.
And Gianna Leapkins came in at 89.9% in free throw percentage, so she's going to be over that now. And so she is 50% from the field, 47% from three, and now 90%, 50, 40, 90. The best shooters in the world. It's rare air to get to that 50, 40, 90 mark.
It sure is. I mean, we were talking about that at the break. Elena Deladon stands out, the WNBA superstar at one point and an incredible college player as well. I mean, it's not an easy task. I went ahead and rounded her up to 90 anyway. I like to go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but the 50, 40, 90 club won't round up.
I know.
They're sticklers.
Yep. They won't. I will. Oh. Leapkin's almost the steal. Williams steps it back. Short. And Wilkie brings it down.
Oh, unfortunate bounce.
Rolf. Right place, right time.
Right off the back foot of Jenna Johnson, who was trying to run up court.
18-point lead, cut to just 7. A little over a minute left, and there's Johnson. Good cut without the ball, and Wilkie found her.
Yeah, that's what makes Utah so good offensively, is moving without the basketball and creating wide open looks because of it.
4 points for Jenna Johnson, and a minute left. Third quarter hesitation, and a foul from behind is going to put Williams to the line. Second on Crisp.
And a nice job by Jada Williams, being aggressive, strong take. This was Wilkie. Feels the double team coming, defense out of position, the window open, and Jenna Johnson also reading that defense to get a wide open look.
Jada Williams, she's been so aggressive tonight. 13 points, 4 rebounds. She's a really good rebounding guard as well, and a couple of assists. Sophomore out of Kansas City, Missouri, gets the free throw.
Yeah, she's going to have fun at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, March 5th. 4 teams right now in the Big 10, or excuse me, in the Big 12 that are in the top 25. And Utah and Baylor receiving votes. Arizona trying to push up into that category as well. Feeling great after that victory against West Virginia and trying to close this one.
Yeah. 7 teams also, Elise, in the top 40 net. Right now, Iowa State at 40, but these are the teams that are going to have to pull some upsets and start to get some big wins in conference play. Wilkie picked it up, needs some help. And Vieta
Dia Barnes really wanted a trap.
Arizona at 58 coming into this one. They could use a quad 1 win. Clock winding down to finish this third. A great look from Neepkins, but Bay was right there. And the Wildcats a chance to cut in to the deficit even more. Williams, there's Dew up top, off the mark, and that will do it.
And that's what goes in this game as well. 10 minutes down by 7. Arizona had closed on a 15-4 run in the third quarter. They are right back in this one. This would be a huge win for them against a 26th net team in Utah.
It would be huge. The shot from Neepkins won't go. It's knocked out by the Wildcats. Third quarter, Utah started 3 of 5 shooting, and then they closed it with 1 of 6 shooting and 6 turnovers. The Wildcats, I mean, Dia Barnes called a timeout, and when they came back out, they were like a different team.
It's that consistently reminding a young team
right.
about pressure and what's going to get you results. And that's how Arizona wins, and that's how they're going to try to pull out this upset on the road, is by turning over Utah and then getting out and scoring on points off turnovers.
Yeah, they finally started to take advantage with 14 points off turnovers, forcing 17 turns already. Foul called on Bay, and an offensive foul as Torre knocks Bay to the court. So she just picked up her second personal, and then Torre now picks up her 4th.
I want a charge count, because Arizona is at 3, 4, 5 charges that they have drawn. And that is about anticipation and reading the body language of the offensive player and where are they trying to get to, and beating them to the spot and being willing to sacrifice your body. And Arizona has certainly done that in this game.
Oh yeah, they are willing. Torre takes a seat. Reese Ross back in. Williams on the aggressive drive. Good. She's got 17. And almost a takeaway, and a jump ball, they'll say, goes to Arizona.
Well, you can just feel the teeter-totter of Mr. Momentum. Mo is on the side of Arizona right now, closing that trap so quickly. See right here, the immediate double team coming over, exposing the ball, and Bay just ties it up. The crowd here does not like it, but that is a clean pick.
Yep, sure was. So a chance for Arizona to cut into the deficit even more. Down by 18 not long ago, and that one won't go for Williams. He's trying to box out. That was Brooke Walker, who's come back in for the Utes.
But you see the willingness of Jada Williams, who's just a sophomore, to take the big shots and to carry the team.
And another jump ball. This one will go the other direction, but Dia Barnes loves the hustle and loves the effort. The next one will go her way.
It's so frustrating when you're an offensive player. You inbound the ball and immediately the double team is there, and they have to be stronger with the basketball.
Utah breaking the pressure. McQueen trying to lose the D, and Jada Williams saying,
Well, Kenny McQueen is one of the best three-point shooters over the last 5 years in college women's basketball. A career 40% from deep. And coming back her first start in over 3 weeks. Because of a high ankle sprain. She doesn't miss like that very often.
No, she sure doesn't. Ross got a piece of that one from Swan. It will stay with Arizona.
And you can feel right now that Arizona is starting to believe. It was really pretty basketball by Utah to build that 18-point lead and came out firing right after halftime. And then you mentioned it, Dia Barnes taking the timeout, and Arizona has been gritty to climb back in this game, doing it with defense.
They sure have. Miscue by Bay and a break for the Utes.
Bay just anticipated the baseline cutter was going to come out on the other side, and just never appeared.
Dia Barnes talking to her team so often as Bay with the takeaway. Arizona capitalizes. There's some Wildcats fans in the stands here.
And it's almost panic mode right now for Utah to try to get out of the initial trap, and they're inbounding the ball so deep. This is just quick hands by Isis Bay, reaching in, poking it away, and then getting the finish by Skylar Jones. But look how deep they're inbounding the ball, and that's why the player guarding the inbounder can get to that trap quickly.
Able to break at that time, but that pressure has really caused some problems. This is the closest this game's been since back in the second quarter. And off the foot of Vieta, the pass off the mark, the turnover sends it the other way.
Well, Isis Bay is working so hard. She is breathing heavily. Boy, fighting on defense. The Arizona Wildcats
caused some problems. Why, Elise?
Well, this time it was the ability of Vieta to get it out of the trap, not allow Bay to get over there to close the trap with the ball pressure. And so then Utah can get off to the races. Too often they've allowed Bay, they've been way too patient and methodical against the press. They've got to get it to the middle of the floor, and they've got to get it away from the trapper Bay.
Yeah, great point. They've absolutely gone to the corner so often, and it's not where you want to be. As out of the timeout, lefty finger roll good for Jones.
And again, continuing to walk this lead down. 6-0 start to the fourth quarter by Arizona.
Wow.
Utah just, their offense has not been able to generate any points with this pressure from Arizona.
21-4 run. Ball game, that one would have been good for the Utes. Instead, a chance for Arizona to take the lead, something they haven't done since early in the second quarter. Williams, the reverse, that's good. First lead for the Wildcats since it was 15-13.
And now Utah has to make Arizona pay for trapping.
It was actually back in the first quarter that the Wildcats had the lead, and now a miss there, a chance to extend it. Jones, the lefty, gets it. Rattle that one down.
Arizona is absolutely on fire, and they have Utah rattled right now.
An 11-0 start to this fourth quarter for the Wildcats. And Maddie Wilkie brings it across.
Oh, pressure. It just changes everything when it gets in your head.
Johnson, the cut inside, and Wilkie finds her. She gets fouled. Third team foul on Arizona. Utah.
Isis Bay reaching in there. That is her third personal. She has been so active, but how about this shot? The southpaw Jones measuring it up and sticking it. And then that is how you beat pressure. You have to be aggressive and go right back at it. You can't get on your heels. You can't be methodical. You have to be decisive.
Free throw good for Jenna Johnson.
But I'll tell you, the pressure when it ramps up, and it's a matter of how much gas is Arizona gonna have. There's still 6 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Yep.
Those are clutch free throws from Johnson. I know there's still over 6 minutes to go. It's not crunch time yet, but anything to stop the bleeding right now.
And Brett Cunningham's been sitting for quite some time for Arizona. Adia Barnes has gone with more of her bench play, and then Isis Bay has really made the difference. So has Jones off the bench. Oh, Torrey with the block. Bay there, trying to stick with it. Can't get it. Torrey, big D.
Bay's got to be careful. If this is on Bay, that's...
Adia Barnes not happy. She thought there was a foul prior on her team. Instead, 4 personals now on Bay.
That's just, for Arizona, that is a crusher. Isis Bay has been the top of that full court press. She's been getting to the ball quickly, closing traps, aggressive, smart. That's a big loss. We'll see if Arizona's defense can continue to be active.
And again, the inbound to the corner, and Johnson, a break as she gets fouled. That puts Utah in the bonus the rest of the way with 5:43 remaining. That is huge. Brea Cunningham back in for the Wildcats to take the place of Isis Bay. Utah as a team, 76% free throwers. Jenna Johnson, 54 on the season. And Utah 7 of 11 from the stripe. Gets the first.
Yeah, those are 3 big ones in a row for Jenna Johnson. And it's a big development. One with Isis Bay picking up her 4th personal, but also the foul trouble, because you're going to march down and the pressure is off, literally, because nobody's guarding you when you go to the foul line. And that is where Utah has just really right now gotten tight against this pressure.
Williams, the pick and roll, but the defense for Utah right there.
So Utah's defense coming up big. You can't full court press easily when you're not taking the ball out of the net.
Utes had numbers, defense got back, and a hand check called on Ralph. Ralph and her 4th personal. And again, with bonus, it will send Utah to the free throw line. Neepkins 3 of 3 from the stripe tonight.
90% on the season, so it's about as automatic as you get for one of the best shooters in the nation.
Utes struggled behind the arc as of late. They missed 8 straight, but they're getting scoring from other areas, and right now it's from free throws.
Well, give credit to this Arizona team.
Oh yeah,
they have willed themselves back into this game with defense.
4th lead change of the game. And a whistle and a foul. Gonna go against Utah. 2nd team foul.
And just the 2nd foul on Neepkins. She's got 24 points now on just 14 shots.
Utah back up by 1. 5 minutes left in this one. This is how the Big 12's been going. We showed the standings earlier. It's so close. Everybody just a game or a half game behind one another. The competition's been tough all season. Shot clock down to 2. Williams recognizes, banks it up good. How tough is Jada Williams?
And strong too.
She's right here. We got you. We got you. We got you, Jada Williams.
Right into our bench. I took the charge.
You took it.
And the bucket off the full court. And it's Cunningham back on and getting an easy 2. And it's just, Utah just has not been able to handle this pressure.
Crowd thought there should have been a whistle there. They don't get it. Johnson kicks it out. Again, the perimeter shots just have not been falling as of late. So Wilkie takes it in good.
Yeah, a rare field goal here in the 4th quarter for Utah. Wilkie, the junior, getting right to the rim. A straight line drive worked for Utah. Little else has been working against this pressure.
1 for 6 for Utah this quarter, but 7 made field goals. And there's Wilkie, heading to the passing lane. Arizona with the 1-point lead. Back and forth we go. With 3.5 left in the game.
Well, Utah has just been sped up. They just have not gotten settled. They don't look comfortable. And give credit to Arizona's defense for that. Can they settle for the last 3 minutes, or will Arizona's defense speed them up? Not that time. Wilkie drilled it.
Wilkie's looking calm, cool, and collected as she gives Utah the lead once again. 6th lead change with 3:06 remaining. Dew gets it taken away. Torrey trying to get out running. Defense getting back though for the Wildcats. And now a hand check called for Williams. Neepkins with the made 3 after though. A little too long for the extension there, but she'll go to the free throw line. 3 fouls on Williams.
Court press, and then offensively handle the ball like Jada Williams has been asked to do, but she's been a huge part of this. But Neepkins, clutch at the line.
Gets them both.
Just beautiful rotation off of her hand. Neepkins out of Duluth, Minnesota. And it was She's a gym rat. They have to tell Neepkins to get out of the gym. She loves the game, and she wants to be elite, and she has turned herself in to an elite player.
WBCA honorable mention All-American last year. Or the season before prior, 2023, missed last season, but an offensive foul call. The 5th taken by Utah. Both teams have been taking a lot of contact tonight.
And
That's a tough one.
Getting it done with their defense, getting to the spot, putting the feet down. You can see the look of frustration from Rolf because that is her 5th, and she's gonna have to take a seat on the bench.
Tough break for the freshman, one of 3 freshmen on this Arizona team out of Germany. She'll take a seat. Cunningham comes back in. So length added for Arizona.
Well, right now for Utah, they've got to get the ball out of the corner. They're inbounding in this corner, and it's just so difficult.
Able to break it there, but it has really caused problems with 2.5 left in the game. 3-point lead on a 6-0 run by the Utes. Help D coming over. Neepkins finding her teammates. Wilkie! Big 3 at the right time. Maddie Wilkie's been clutch these last couple of minutes.
Well, that is 7 points in the quarter for Wilkie. Absolute nails for Utah. 14 points on and Utah. And how clutch has she been here in the final frame?
Incredible. She had 7 points total over the first 3 quarters. 7 points in this 4th quarter alone now. 3 of 4 shooting. She's been huge. Williams out of the timeout. Gets the shooter's touch. Oh, Williams.
That is huge for Jada Williams. Cuts the lead in half, and a turnover again, trying to get it to the corner. And it's such a dangerous spot because you use the corner as another defender, but this is clutch. Williams, the check behind to see where the defender is, gets the shot off and rattles it in.
Yeah, exactly. Looked over the left shoulder. Oh, and that one did all but drop for her around and out.
That one touched every single part of the rim and then rolled off.
Big buckets on both sides. Wilkie's been huge for Utah and Williams for Arizona. A perfect read by Neepkins as Cunningham, though, gets a piece of it. And a foul at the end, though, will put Torrey to the free throw line.
Neepkins, pretty good defense by Cunningham. It's a 2-on-1 situation and kind of hedged at Neepkins, made her get rid of it, but then could not react in time without fouling Torrey. So a 6'3" grad student from France with some big foul shots.
This is the first grad student that brings maturity. Gavin Peterson's talked about her growth over the season.
A 68% foul shooter. Missed that first, and then the bucket looks smaller when you miss the first one.
Sure does, and misses the second. Just a 1-possession game with 1.5 minutes remaining. This would be a huge road win for Arizona. And it would tie them with Utah in the Big 12 at 6-4. As Williams gets fouled and will go to the line. 24 points for Williams, 7 rebounds, 3. She has been hustling in all areas.
She is just willing herself to get fouled right here. Just turning on the jets, going at the defense, not scared of the contact. She wants it and earns 2 free throws. And I think for her, it's also big. The free throws, a chance for her to take a breath. You can just see how hard she is working. And that will be the 5th foul on Torrey, so she is out of the ball game for Utah in a physical game. Already multiple players fouling out. And Jada Williams trying to continue her clutch game.
It's her 11th game in a row, scoring in double figures, and foul trouble accumulating on both sides. A few more for the Wildcats.
Oh, a rare miss from Williams. She's an 86% foul shooter.
And a stoppage in play. I'm not sure if there was a clock issue. And the pressure continues. Wilkie needs some help, and there is Vieta. 2-point
Trap
lead.
coming.
Yep.
Gets rid of it quickly, middle of the floor, and now you're cooking.
Jones switches up with Dew on Neepkins, and now a minute left in the game. Jenna Johnson, she can hit it from out there, and does. Unselfish play from Neepkins. She made the right call, and Jenna Johnson with a big one.
I love that confidence from the senior Jenna Johnson. The do-everything player got her feet set and was ready to deliver.
Paris on the drive, helped D coming over, and the shot was just short. Wildcats need a stop.
The decision not to foul right here, even though it's a two-possession game, a lot of time coming off of the clock.
Oh, and it's Bay on the reach-in at that point. The clock had already wound down, and now 5 fouls on Bay. That's going to send her to the sideline.
Yeah, you either got to go early or you got to play defense when it comes to fouling, and it's also unfortunate.
Trouble in the first quarter, and Bay lifted her game. But the 5th foul will send her to the sideline. Here is Neepkins. Still perfect from the free throw line. 8 for 8 from the stripe tonight.
.27 points for Neepkins, and she'll have another chance with the made free throw to go for 30 if they get the ball back. She's already been in 32 games in a row. Why not make it 3?
Yeah, those were big. Now a 3-possession game. Williams, high archer, rattles around, no good. Batted around, McQueen. And she gets fouled and will go to the line.
Second half. I mean, Utah looked like they were just about ready to throw some dirt on the coffin of Arizona, up by 18 points. Arizona springing to life.
Yep.
Taking the lead.
Yeah.
So often it's that you can't get over the hump.
Right.
They got over the hump, and then they just could not finish because Utah able to get fouled and go to the line, and they were clutch at the free throw line.
Yep, McQueen gets that last one. She's got 4 points, 2 of 3 from the stripe, and a foul on Vieta. The team's 4th. 7-0 run to get the lead back for Utah has been the difference here at the end of this one.
Dia Barnes should be pleased about her team's effort and defensive execution, and Gavin should be pleased with his team's clutch play in the 4th.
Yep. A lot of positives for both teams to take as Utah is going to get their 7th win in Big 12 play, 16-5 overall. They will head to Texas Tech next and then to UCF. This is the only game for them officially this week.